Think about that video for a moment. What was the call to action? What's the take-home message? Right. What was it specifically? We are losing was one of them, and what was the other one? Okay, that was at the very end. So we are losing, and what was the other one?
Time is running.
Time is, yes, exactly. Time is running out. The clock is ticking, to be exact. To add a sense of urgency. Exactly. Because we all know that there's problems, and some problems, if you leave them alone in 100 years, will be a huge problem. And so that's where a lot of the time references of how bad things have gotten over time, and in a short period of time. Now, if you imagine for a moment, somebody in the audience was in finance, new company startup development. Yes, the amount of investment capital, being 0.05% or something, whatever it was, ridiculously low, would interest that person and would affect them. Maybe not the environment, maybe not about public, but if someone's environmentally minded, the amount of time that people spend in their cars instead of using the railroads. See, what you have to think is that every single person in your audience has a lock. Yeah? And there's a different key that will open that lock. And so for an investment type, that might be the low investment that Long Island is receiving. For someone environmentally minded, that might be the failure to preserve the wildlife and their environmental goals. If it's somebody who's just ordinary person, it might be the foreclosure rate. If it's somebody who's very efficient, it might be the amount of money wasted on fire trucks. Think about it for a minute. That video was not only about, hey, we're losing and time is running out because we're not getting investment, but what were the things that she covered, or what are the things that the video covered? So what are all the different points brought to the surface?
There are a lot of districts that have a very complex...
So a decentralized governmental system leading to inefficiency.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
Very long decisions ways, probably.
Sorry, say again?
Very long decisions went probably because of that. That you have a lot of districts, you have a lot of...
So nobody can get together and decide on anything. Yeah?
Attractiveness is...
The attractiveness is declining of the whole region. What else? So we had environment, we had investment. What else did we have? Sorry? Which one? Poverty. Yes, poverty is increasing. The amount of families getting food stamps.
People are moving out.
Brain drain. People are leaving. The youth, the next generation are leaving.
Because they don't see any...
They don't see a future. Exactly. What else? You guys have said a couple of points. Infrastructure is beginning to fail. What else? Sorry, say again? School system is, the school system, it's not functioning, it's failing the children. And therefore, what I want you guys thinking about is that, yes, you have your call to action up here, and it's supported by different pillars. So some of those pillars will be emotional, some of them will be logical, some of them will be based on historical data, some of them will be based on future forecasts, some of them will be based on experts, some of those will be based on what average everyday people say. And that's how your presentation has to be as well. There should be something for everyone. In other words, everything that you pitch should have a key built into it for somebody or multiple people in your audience, to them, to be able to open them up and say, yeah, I can identify with this. Does that make sense? And so, if you're presenting to a group of investors, maybe they're not interested in the emotional side of it. Maybe they're just interested in what the return is. If you're but for example, in your case, being a master in the business, not only from the business side, but from the production side, that's very important to you and the people you're talking to, and they may not care so much about the investment. They may care about the love and the quality of the product you create. So that's what I was saying at the very beginning. Through knowing your audience, you're able to then structure your talk, and this talk is particularly good because it hits on all of those points with a very clear take-home message, which is repeated and repeated and supported by each point.